So let's start with our class 3 beacon, which is the 6262A. We also have another one, which is the 6465A. It's a little shorter, a little wider. But basically, these class 3 beacons are for forklifts, vehicles that are inside of buildings or are around buildings that obviously do not need to be on streets or on highways or on construction sites, that type of environment. So this flash isn't as bright as our class 2 or a class 1, obviously. These are made to be on vehicles that are inside of buildings, just basically so you can know where that vehicle is at all times. So the difference between this and a class 2 or a class 1 is considerable, but we also have to keep in mind that we're trying to make this a little more affordable also for those that type of market, which is the forklift market. So if you're looking at pricing, this is going to be your most economic beacon that we offer in ECCO, but it's not for the use of vehicles that are not inside of buildings. So if you need a beacon for outside use, that would probably be our 7950 series or our 7970 series that we're going to see later on in this video. But this is specifically only for forklifts. So even though you see the light that it's not as bright as the other beacons or the other types of lights that we have, this still has a 5-year warranty on it also. The product is very well made, has a nylon base, and if you open it up here real quick, you'll see that it's epoxy filled all on the inside. Obviously that's to protect it against vibrations, any type of water in the environment or any type of dust is going to keep it out very well. So this all the way to the top, filling up all those electronics. And as you can see, we only give that light off with 3 LEDs. So let's talk about our class 2 beacons. Okay, so let's start with our class 2. Here are our class 2 beacons. So with our class 2 beacons, you're going to see this one, which is one of our most popular models, which is the 7950 series. We also have a shorter one, which is a 5-inch beacon, which is a 7945A. This 7958 is 7 inches high. So with this type of beacon, especially with the light output that it has, which is class 2, the class 2, which is SAE certified, basically says that this light should be used on vehicles that are off highway. So in ECCO, we mean off highway. So all vehicles like that are working in construction sites, that are working at a port of some sort, or working maybe close to a mine, or in the mining environment. So it just depends where you're using your vehicle. This is a little more economy friendly than the class 1 beacons that we have. But so if you need this maybe for a non-highway or somewhere that you need a little more light than obviously a class 3, it could work for you. But this is obviously intended for that type of off-highway market. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at these types of beacons on the ECCO side. So you can see that the flash is a little more intense than the class 3. With these beacons, we're all going to have some patterns. So these have 11 patterns on them. We could shift through them with the yellow cable. You could go through all these types of flashes that you would like to have on your vehicle. This also has a steady burn. So if you need a steady burn, we could activate that if need be. So you could just go through that with a yellow cable on the harness that it has connected to it. This base is plastic, so it's a good base to have. Lightweight. It's just to make sure it doesn't have any types of problems. It's polycarbonate. This is the electronics inside. So this kind of a good way of looking at how we construct our products. Obviously, it has a little bit of silicone here, so it could protect the electronic parts. If any types of moisture or dust gets in them, it's going to be a little protected there. These also have only 3 LEDs, giving off that class 2 intensity. Okay, so the domes are polycarbonate. It's going to be better for those impact resistance. But if at any time this breaks, we could switch these out really quickly. As you can see, just put it in there, pull all the way down, so it's ready to go. So putting it all the way down, getting that gasket really tight in there, it's going to allow this to be a little more weather resistant, not having any of that water in there, that dust. This is basically also for vehicles that maybe aren't in environments that are too dusty, things like, just because of the base is, not your heavy duty kind of base, so maybe those light duty vehicles that you need a beacon to be on them real quick, have that flashing anytime that they need to, is going to be a good option for that. We also have different types of mounting options. So this is our permanent mount, which has the 3 holes on the bottom. We also have a hole here that fits a 1-inch tube. If you want to screw that in, you can do that. We also have magnetic mounting, vacuum magnetic mounting, and also HBT tape. So you could just tape this on top of a vehicle if you don't want to make any holes on it, and maybe you want to make sure it doesn't move at all, even though maybe our vacuum mounted option is really good for that. Gets on there, really doesn't move. But if you need something a little more permanent, but you don't want to screw this in, we have that tape mounting also on this type of beacon. So that was our class 2 beacon. Okay, let's talk about the class 1 beacons that we have. We have various types. This is one of the most popular ones. This is the 7970A. Like this type of structure, we also have the 7965A, which is a little shorter. That's the 5-inch beacon. So here with the class 1, SAE class 1, this is intended for the off-highway market. So basically, any vehicle that's on highway, it could be transport, it could be work trucks, it could be municipality trucks that are doing some type of work on the street at some point. Emergency vehicles, any type of vehicle that is on the street, and you want to have the brightest, most intense light output and these type of flashing lights, look for class 1. Okay, this is not something that we invented. It's just something that SAE, the Society of Automotive Engineers, put in their specifications to, have that type of safety on vehicles whenever they're needed. Okay, so we're going to turn this on real quick so you could see that obviously it's going to be a little more intense than the class 2. So whenever you see SAE class 1 on any type of our products, talking about beacons, directionals, mini bars, light bars, you're going to see that type of specification, whether it's a class 2, a class 3, or a class 1. So if you need the most intense, look at the class 1. When you see class 1, it's also going to be probably the most expensive choice. But obviously it's because the flash or the intensity is needed for the work the vehicle is intended for. Okay, so it's very similar in the look between maybe the class 2 and the class 1. It actually uses this same exact dome on the top. It's the same one. The difference is on the base. So as we said, the Class 2 has a plastic base. With the Class 1, we're going to have aluminum base. So it's a little more robust for maybe vehicles that are, in more extreme, more vibrating environments. We also have a beacon for extreme vibration. So maybe in machinery. This is more for vehicles that maybe need a little more protection on that side. This also comes off here real quick, so you can see the electronics on the inside. You can see it has a little more going on here to get that intensity up to that Class 1, to maintain it, to have it working the whole time. If you look at our extreme vibration beacons that we have, so this is just covered with little silicone here to protect it, but the extreme vibration beacons that we have is just filled up to the brim here with epoxy, very similar to the Class 3. It's totally filled up. So here with the electronics, you can see that we only have 4 LEDs here, giving off that Class 1 type of light. So maybe you could also say that this is, has maybe less failure rate, just because we're not using so many LEDs. We're just using 4 high quality LEDs on here. Dome, like we said, polycarbonate, impact resistant. Anything happens to the dome, we can just come on here, take it off really quick, screw it on, and it's ready to go. So for beacons specifically, we're gonna have a lot of types there on the website. You want to go on there, you can look at every type of design that we have. These are like some of the most popular that we have. But if you need something a little different, a little lower to the roof of the vehicle, or maybe in a little stranger shape, we have some square ones also that might be different for the type of environment that you guys need. Go ahead and go over there on the website, look at all the options that we have. These are some of the most popular that we use in ECCO. So differentiation between the Class 3, the Class 2, and the Class 1 beacons, so you understood where they're supposed to go, on what type of vehicle, and where to recommend it also, if we're recommending any type of these lights to any other customers out there. So for all your beacon needs, please look for ECCO.